Hello everyone, I am Ara Bhanti and I welcome you all to yet another episode of the Faculty Interaction Series brought to you by the Admissions Committee of IIM Bodh Gaya. Today we have with us Professor Manoj Jaiswal, who's graduated from the London School of Economics. He is an industry expert with more than 30 years of industry experience in consulting and management. Welcome sir to this episode of the Faculty Interaction Series.
Thank you.
So here's the first question for you sir. With your extensive experience in both corporate leadership and management education, how do you see programs like IPM shaping the future of business education? And what unique value do they bring to preparing students for the evolving demands of the corporate world?
A very interesting question. So when we were studying, I used to hear very often that US is the land of opportunities. And then we started getting into the corporate world and looking. So if I look at the globe today, what I see is the key pockets. So you look at US, Canada, you look at China, you look at France, Germany, you look at Australia, New Zealand, and you look at some other countries like Latin America and other continents. The sparkling light across the globe is India, with its GDP growth. No country on this planet is moving the world economy the way Indian economy is moving. Now, having said that, when the Britishers left this country, India was in fragile 5, which means that the bottom of approximately 198 countries, the bottom 5 country. Today, India has reached the pinnacle of the 3rd largest economy in the world. And with our Prime Minister's vision of making India into a $10 trillion economy, we need a horde of business professionals.
Yes.
A plethora of people who have been trained in business to run this country and the corporate world. And this is where the IPM is a very niche program which picks up the students, the cream la cream, right after 12th and gives them 5 years of management education in one of the top education institutions of this country. And I'm sure that with this powerful and strong background of business education, they will be able to contribute significantly to our nation building.
Thank you sir. Let's move on to the second question. As someone with over 30 years of industry experience, what advice would you give to the students of IIM Bodh Gaya for the world that they're about to go?
My advice to them is you are sitting in the golden age of our nation. Once upon a time, India was called the land of golden birth. And I'm happy to say that era has come back. And you are at the right time, in the right country, at the right cusp of economic boom. And this is a time when you build your competency to what the corporate world wants and contribute to nation building. And this will help you in giving you career growth and economic returns beyond your imagination.
Okay, thank you sir. You held roles of significant responsibility, like being the senior vice president. How did you manage personal growth with the demands of leadership, and what can young professionals do to adapt to the same?
It's very important to understand the spectrum of areas, as I call them, cycle of life. There are 7 areas and in any human being's life. They are career, personal, you look at financial, you look at health, you look at social, and the last one is spiritual. The way to balance is you should have equal time spent and focus on each of the 7 areas. The most important thing is your health, because all the 6 areas are dependent on this core component of the 7 areas. If you don't focus on health, by the age of 40 you'll burn out, and none of the other things you'll be able to achieve your dreams. So it's very important that you focus equally on all of them, and the most important thing is start building the competencies that are required by the corporate world. So the key thing that you need to understand is that your IIM degree is a IG. All 150 people will have IIM degree. Other than that, what is the differentiator that you are putting on the table for your recruiters? And that is where you need to do certifications which are relevant and needed by the industry.
Thank you, sir. Now let's move on to the last question. Lastly, what advice would you give to young students and professionals to grow and advance in the professional sphere?
The most important thing that one needs to understand is be very focused, right? And prepare for your short-term, medium-term and long-term career growth. Focus on all these 7 areas that we talked about: your career, financial, health, personal, social and spiritual. Focus on all these areas, and I'm sure sky is the limit for the growth that you can get in this country.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with us today, and thank you guys for watching.
Thank you very much. Thank you.